Hello everybody, my name is Jason Fong, and today I will be showing you some striking fundamentals. First of all, I'd like to say I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there, and thank you guys for watching. So let's get started. First, we're going to learn how to make a fist. We're going to have our hands open, and then you're just going to go 1, 2, 3 with thumbs on top. Again, hands are open. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Next is when you're throwing punches, you're going to want to have your wrists angled a little bit downwards so that they're in line with your forearms. That way, when you're taking impact, all the shock's going straight through rather than coming at like an angle like this. You don't want to be punching out here like this. Again, just angled downwards. Next, we're going to want to make sure your hands are clean. And we're going to put our hands, we'll call this home base. Hands on our chins, just like this, elbows down, shoulders relaxed. You don't have to hunch up. And this will be where we want our hands almost all the time if you're not throwing a punch. What we're going to do next is our basic posture and stance. We can stand shoulder widths apart, and you're going to take one step back with your right leg, and then you're going to bend both your knees. You kind of want to be centered. You don't want to be leaning too far forward or too far back on one leg. Again, shoulder width apart, right leg comes back, and then we're going to bend both our knees. And again, centered, not leaning too far forward or back. When we have our left leg forward, this is typically called the orthodox stance. If you have your right leg forward and you're left-handed, typically you'll want your right leg forward, because your left hand is your power shot, and they call this southpaw. For now, we're just going to do everything in orthodox, meaning, again, left leg forward. So, home base, bending your knees. You're going to want your right heel up just a little bit off the ground. That way you're staying a little bit mobile. You want to be able to move in different directions. So how about we try that? So we're going to home base, right leg back, bend your knees, and now we're just going to take two steps forward and 2 steps back, always maintaining balance. Let's try it again. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. And another thing you want, in general, you don't want to be crossing your feet, meaning my left, you don't want it to cross over to the right. If I want to move to my right, I move my right leg first. And if I'm moving back to the left leg first. So we can just try a few reps of those steps. Forward, back, right, left. Forward, back, right, left. Again, forward, back, right, left. And you can pick it up a little bit. Forward, back, right, left. Forward, back, right, left. And again, you're going to want to keep your hands home base, chin tucked in, knees bent. So the first punch we're going to be learning is called the jab. And the jab doesn't necessarily have to be a knockout punch. It can be. But typically it's to gauge distance. It's to catch them off guard. And if my left leg is in front, then my jab is going to be with my left hand. If I was southpaw and my right leg is in front, then my jab is going to be with my right hand. So we'll do a left jab first. If you guys have different methodologies, you don't have to do it my way. You could do it however you want. This is just for anyone who has no kind of background, and then this is a good place for you guys to start. So again, this is called the jab. Left leg is in front, home base, and all you're going to do, try not to do any extra movement to telegraph your punch, is you're just moving your left hand in a straight line, boom, and back. That's all it is. Just move it straight out in front of you. Again, make sure your wrist is downwards. You kind of want your shoulder up to protect your jaw. Your other hand still at home base. And that's all it is. Just going straight out and back in. In this angle, it's going to be straight out, back in. And we can go ahead and throw, let's just throw 10 jabs. So we got 1, 2. You can take it slow if you want. 3, 4. Again, shoulder guarding your chin. 5. Always coming back to home base. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Now we can try it with some movement. With the same steps we did before. So we're going to jab, step forward. Jab, step forward. Jab, step back. Jab, step back. To the right now. Jab, jab. To the left. Jab, jab. Let's try it again. Going forward. 1, 2. 1. Backwards. 2. To the right. 1, 2. Left. 1, 2. Again, forward. 1, 2. Again, always keeping this on guard. Backwards. 1, 2. To the right. 1, 2. And to the left. 1, 2. Good. The next punch we're going to cover will be the cross. So the cross is going to happen with our right hand. And what you're going to do is, all you're doing is your right hand is coming forward, and you're kind of twisting your hips a little bit into that punch. So twisting just a little bit. Square up and going forward. Again, squaring up and forward. Okay, from this angle, just your right hand's coming out and straight back to home base. Again, going forward and back. Forward and back. Again, you also can be covering your chin with this punch as it's coming out, guarding the chin, home base, pretty well protected. Okay, so let's just try 10 crosses. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're going to be shifting your weight just a little bit. You don't want to lean too far forward. Even though you're trying to punch really strong, you always want to be on balance. So you don't want to really lunge. You can bend your knee a little bit more if you want to drop your weight into it. But try not to lean too far forward. You don't want your head over your foot. In general, there's some cases where you might want to. Same thing with the footwork. There's some cases where you do want to cross over, maybe for like a spinning attack. But for the most part, try to keep your balance. So let's try, we're going to try a jab cross now. So it's going to be left, right, and left, right. Let's try 10 of those. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Alright. The next punch we're going to cover is the lead hook. So the lead hook is going to happen with our left hand. And what you want to do first is you're going to want to lean a little bit to your left. I'm kind of pushing my right shoulder forward. And then as I'm coming around, throwing a hook. So it's lean, throw that hook. Again, lean, hook, back to home base. You can just do it that slow. Lean, hook, home base. And again, you don't want to, when I'm leaning, I'm not leaning way far forward. Just I'm twisting to the side. It's almost like I'm looking at a post. I'll use this broomstick. I'm looking at this post, and it's like, what's over there? Huh? What's over there? So that's all this. It's a small movement. Your fist is only this big, and so you want to you want to be you want to have economy of motion, right? So you don't need to be like boom all the way over to the side. Just a small slip. 1, 2. So again, this is the lead hook, and we'll try 10 of those. So lean to the left, and then hook. 1, lean to the left, hook. 2, lean to the left, 3. And as you might notice, I kind of want to shift your weight. So I'm shifting my weight a little bit in the front before the hook. And then as I'm coming around, my weight's in the back. So this heel is up. Then it shifts to this heel being up just a little bit. You don't want to turn too far. Still keep your eye on your opponent. And then reset. Again, so lean to the left, hook. And that's 6. Lean to the left, hook. 7. As you lean, you can even raise your guard up just a little bit. Protect your temples. Hook. And reset. Guard up, hook, reset. Guard up, hook, reset. Again, I want to stress the importance of these small movements and not trying to throw a lot of power through your arm only. You don't want to go wild with your hooks, right? Because that's how you get caught off guard. And that's how you get knocked out, which we don't want. So coming here, nice and tight, and then coming back to the center, home base. Left hook. Okay? So we've covered the jab, the cross, the lead hook, and now we'll do the uppercut. Uppercut's going to happen with my right hand, and this time I'm going to be leaning to my right just a little bit, and then throwing it up. So lean to my right, and up. Lean to my right, and up. Again, using that same looking around the post. It's over there, and then it throws up. So home base, lean to the right, throw it up. Okay. Let's try 10 of those. So we're just going to go lean, up. Again, you can kind of guard up here too if you want. Uppercut. Lean, uppercut. Twisting into it, shifting your weight. Shift and upwards. Shift and upwards. Again, same thing. You want to make sure your wrists are aligned. You don't want the uppercut to have a curled wrist like this. Same with your hook. When your hook's coming around, you want it nice and strong. Again, this all in alignment. Otherwise, you might kind of break a wrist or torque it this way, which does not feel very good. So always have that slight curl for alignment. And then go back to uppercut, lean to the right, hook it up, lean to the right, hook it up, guard, hook, guard, uppercut, guard, uppercut, and upwards. So shoving it upwards. Boom. Come on, use your shoulders. It's a lot of shoulder power versus just arm movement. It's not like a curl, right? It's all shoulder. You're keeping your body tight. Your core should be tight. Rotate and upwards. Okay? So now let's try to put that all together. We're gonna be doing a jab, then we'll do a jab cross, then we'll do a jab cross hook, and then we'll follow it by a jab cross hook uppercut. And we'll just do, how about we do 10 of each. So it's gonna be, and for now we could not do any foot movement, and then we'll incorporate some movement in just a bit. So again, jab 10 times. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, protecting your chin, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright? And we're going to do a jab cross. So we got 1, 2. Make sure you're always coming back to home base after you're done with the punch. 3. Guarding your chin each time. 4, 5. Alright, turn this way. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now we're going to do jab, cross, hook. Go. Home base. Knees bent. Good balance. And jab, cross, hook. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And finally, we got jab, cross, hook, uppercut. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. If you'll notice, after the cross, my left shoulder is back already. And so you don't need to do that little lean for the hook, because your lean is already there from this cross. Then once this starts coming back, this unwinds. And now for the uppercut, my right shoulder is back already. And as you're throwing the uppercut, it's already wound up. So again, after the cross, your left shoulder should be back a little bit. Throwing the hook. Now my right shoulder is back. And then the uppercut. And so those are the 4 very basic punches that we typically do. And you could do a lot of combinations with just those 4 strikes. I mean, assuming that you don't repeat the same punch, you could do, 4 times 3, 2. That's already like 24 combinations with 4 strikes that you could do without repeating a punch. So you don't even have to do a double jab, or there might be a double jab, and that just increases the amount of combos that you could come up with between these 4 punches. So what we can do is just practice moving around now. Again, try not to cross your feet. If you have room, you could try and move in a circle. So just moving in a circle, keeping the same distance away from the target. So here's my center right here. And then I'm just coming around this way, going to the right. And then I'll go to the left. We just do a full circle. And always keep your knees bent on balance. And then you can start throwing in punches. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Jab, cross. You don't always have to do all 4. You can just do 1. You can just do 2. It's all up to you how you want to move once you get the basic punches down. So for now, jab, cross. Moving the other way. Jab. Sometimes some punches lead to easier movement. Like sometimes my cross, it might be easier to step to my left versus like stepping out to my right with the cross. But that comes later with practice. Again, you just want to get used to these very basic motions. And if you're starting out, the best thing I could recommend is take it slow. And just work the motion before you start trying to work it really strong and hard, right? Always coming back to home base. Oop, oop, oop. Good. Again, you can always practice this lean, spot, lean, spot. So that's all I wanted to cover for the basics of our striking fundamentals. You learned some how to make a fist. Just to review, make sure your wrist alignment is good. Your basic stance, you got orthodox with your right leg, left leg in front, staying balanced, bending your knees, trying not to lean too far forward. You have southpaw, which is my right leg in the back, and then you have the 4 basic punches. And if you're comfortable with doing the orthodox, I suggest practicing southpaw, just so you're able to do both sides. Especially if you're starting out fresh and you know nothing, then you could raise both sides up equally, right? So you could always do right jab, left cross. Okay. So that concludes my introduction to striking fundamentals. And thank you guys very much. I hope you guys stay safe and healthy. Thank you.